Okay, Jose, let's see the case that we are presenting today. Okay, we have this application here. Okay, I'm moving the Zoom controls. We have this application here, and let's close it for a second so you guys can see it. So if I open the entity list view, we have more than 65,000 records. And if you see the time that it takes to open, it's almost instantaneous. It's really fast. Even if I can open another one, the opportunity, and if you see, it took longer with only 56 records. So because we only did the optimization for this list view. So this is the best example that when you need to test your application with the most close to your production environment. So you should test with real data. So let's see what we have done here. The first thing that I will say is if I clear the console so we can see the queries, and let's close both and I open again, if you see, these are the queries that got generated. And if we check the front, and if you see it here, let's wait for it. Okay, right here. If you see, we're bringing everything in just one query because this was specifically designed for a remote database. We have our entity class here that is doing a left join with location, a left join with my country, a left join with autonomous community, with region. So this is a Spanish application, but you get the point. And if you can see here, we're using the explicit loading to tell the XAF, please, to XPO, please bring me everything in just one query. We also can see that this is not a flat entity. It's called entity the class, but what I'm trying to say, it does have a lot of relationships. So we can check here. We can see that every detalle, that's a collection in Spanish, this all the collections that this entity has. This are all the reference properties that this entity has. And not only that, we can just scroll down and select, let's select this one. And if you see, it has a record here in contacts, it has an address, it has some value type of here in qualification. So it definitely have more data. So again, we can see that it's not just text, it's bringing a relationship as well. You can see we can even bring in an image here. So it's 65,000 records almost instantly. Getting ready for the meetup as well. You want to add anything there, Jose?
Well, like the only thing that I would like to add is that you need to measure the performance for you. I mean, you need to test each list view and identify the critical points of your application and then optimize them. Because at the beginning, if you do like plain vanilla code, the performance might not be good. So as Javier said, you need to test like real scenarios. The closer you get to your production environment, the better the test and the optimizations. So just that.
There are a few more things that I want to say here. The first one is this is a really customized application. So we probably should have showed this one in your last meetup about UI customization. But if you see here, we have our let's say our customized layout in a separate action, not in the detail view. We have actually even our column choosers here. We have our dashboard and report that we're bringing that are only tied to this entity. And if you see, to be able to have this dashboard in real time, we're preloading all this dashboard before we open the application. So on a startup, we're making sure that we get all those dashboards already set up for us. We have the audit trail. So there is no audit trail right now, as we are seeing here. So one thing that I want to point out, we have a couple notes about how we went about this project for the performance part. And it's in Spanish because, again, this was a project in Spanish, but we can pretty much go through them real quickly. So one of the things that we did, we went to the log and see every query that was executing every time that we click new, that we click open the record on the list view, that we did any action. So we were checking those, and depending of those queries, we were trying to tune the application and say, hey, why is this query being executed? We need that. And with that in mind, we did a lot of crazy things. We modify a little bit the security system to avoid the member permissions, so it doesn't have to check member permission. We weren't using that part either way here. We did also modification of the audit trail, so only give us the information that we need, nothing else. We also went controller by controller and checked the unactivated just to make sure that we were not doing any logic or checking for something there that it was actually needed to generate a query. we actually, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get thrown upon here, but we even disable the compatibility check. You know that the XAF checks what is the version of your application, and we even disable that so it doesn't do the query for that part. We preload the dashboard and report. We prefetch all the nested list view. So we did a lot of things, but you see the result. The result was really great. It was really performant. We are loading more than 60,000 records with a lot of relationship really fast. And this is the best proof that if you plan your performance and your load accordingly, you will have excellent performance in XAF.
Okay, Javier, just to not get bad comments from the community, we need to tell that at this moment, there was no other way to change the time on the compatibility check. I think after just one version after we did that, you can change it or disable it after. I mean, there is a way to do it now, but at this moment it was not like that. So we have to disable it.
And no, not only that, this was a project that we did like a few years back. And right now, I think that the compatibility check is only happening every 12 hours. When in that time, I think that it was happening every 5 minutes. And this was a remote database on Azure, so we needed to avoid as much as less trip to the database as possible. So another thing that I wanted to show here is, for example, let's clear the console again, and let's do new. If you see here, there is not even one query. We're not checking permission. We're not checking anything. We're not doing a query. We just click new, and we get our window instantly. There is no delay whatsoever. So this, and if you see here, this is a reduced detail view. Let's say this is not the complete detail view. Here we are only doing a quick data entry. So you put your new object right away. But if we open the list view, we can see that we have a lot of more information. So this is the best example that you need to plan ahead. When is your user needing the data? When are you going to show the data to him? Are you bringing more data than he needs? Because all of those design consideration will definitely slow down your application. So I think that will be all for my part. I don't know if Jose want to add anything else.
Well, just to finish, I just want to add that, as you can see, like everything can be like really fast, 65,000 records. It's like a dream, basically. And then you see the other case, 56, and it took way more. So it's about your code in general. XAF, they do it the best that they can, but they cannot change your code in general. So that's it.
All right, guys. See you on Thursday, and XAF out.